This is the F1 Show podcast.
Yes,
I'm
it
the
is.
host of the most, Wayne. We are back, and this is the man, not in the man in the pits with the tits. Is not. Where is he?
I'm in the Caribbean, mate.
Oh,
It's
of course
still
you are. It's off season, isn't it? It's off
We don't need to
season.
be in Bahrain. We don't need to be in Bahrain until next week, mate.
Not.
Don't need to be in the pits until next week.
When is the first testing?
Barcelona, isn't it?
Ooh.
Well, there's Pirelli tire testing going on at the minute, but we're not involved in that. We're not invited to that.
They never
then
invite
there
us anywhere, the
There's
bastards.
a lot of car reviews and all that kind of stuff.
There's a lot of car reviews. I want to have a look at these cars. We can go through them team by team. Can't
Yeah,
we?
I don't really get the point. Red Bull, what did you do? Why you've just told us your livery, right? It's the same car, pretty much.
Is it the same car? Is it?
Well, we'll get into that later.
Oh, see? Anybody think we don't plan these things, but we do. We are top of our game.
No, we don't.
So,
Once again, I need
first
to
of all,
this is an audio-
how
this is an
has-
audio meeting, so
first
there's
of
no
all, let's
point
make
shooting
some time
Okay.
for our audience. How are you? How have you been? Have you missed us? We're talking
Yeah.
to the audience.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, you can't hear them back, mate. They're probably cursing and going.
I'm making time for our audience.
Okay.
Okay, so how have you been? Happy New Year to all of our podcast listeners. I can't believe it's February already. I can't believe the season is near enough upon us.
Yeah.
That's quite exciting, don't you think?
It is really, yeah.
Well, let's have some energy.
Well, okay. So
I'm having a
testing
terrible
is
hair
the
day.
23rd of
Terrible hair
February.
day. Go on, sorry, you were saying.
Testing starts in official testing starts in Sakir, which is Bahrain, on the 23rd of February. That's 23rd of this month.
Wow.
Before that, there's some shakedowns in Barcelona, and then
What do you mean by shakedown?
So they have pre-season testing at Bahrain where the FIA is involved, and it's all
It's a
moderated
shakedown
by-
then, yeah. It's a shakedown by the.
No. That's official testing, so it's all monitored by the FIA quite closely.
Yeah.
You get one weekend before that in Barcelona where they go out and they test the car.
Right.
It's not official testing.
Oh. What do they do?
So-
Spin it around the track once and then.
Oh no, there's different processes they have to go through. They can use like the big aero rigs. They can go in and out as many times as they want. Whereas in Bahrain, it's scheduled test times and numbers of track.
So this is like a
lap.
pre-test.
Yeah.
Test.
Yeah.
So we need to have. We've got no news. I mean, what's the goss?
What's the cost? Well, I think the best way to approach this is go team by team.
That's a
and-
great idea.
Great idea. Who came up with that? And just talk about what we've heard about them so far. I mean, do we do the ones that have done car launches already?
Yeah, let's do the car launches. Do you want to show us some of these lovely cars so we can pick holes in them?
There's no.
I do find they're a bit anticlimactical. Is that a word?
Yep. It's more of a
Anticlimactical.
livery launch. Let's start with Alfa Romeo, shall we?
Yeah, they turn themselves into Ferrari, basically. Have they?
No, I don't know. I think I'm loving Valtteri Bottas's whole Aussie look. He's got
All
a bit of he's got the mullet going on. He's got the moustache going on.
He's still got that moustache. Has he
Oh,
still got that
mate,
bucket hat? He loves the bucket hat.
He shaved the side of his head as well. He's gone for
I've
a
got to
full-on
see this. Show me this now, sir.
front.
Share.
There's the front. All right, hang on. Let me find a picture of Valtteri. He's got a full-on. You remember this is a podcast, don't you?
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
this is a podcast, but we'll describe what we see in the most flattering terms because it's Valtteri. You've got to love Valtteri, yeah.
Valtteri. Oh, hang on. Look at all these pockets, man.
So, have you been have you been reading anything Formula One-y or watching anything Formula One-y?
I've done a bit,
Have you? What have you watched Formula One-y?
I've not watched that movie yet. Here we go. Here's Valtteri. I'm just going to share the screen.
Go for it. Yeah, that's
That's pretty cool looking, isn't
Does
it?
he live in a trailer now or something? What's going on? But they lived in trailers. That's
Yeah. He's a pretty awesome break. He's been touring around doing a lot of bike riding, bike races.
I bet he has. He thought his career was over a couple of years ago.
But he at the
oh, come on. Jeez.
at the car launch for Alfa Romeo.
Did you just Google that?
No.
Oh, you're looking down. Did you just Google the words Cardinals? Anyway, go on.
At the Alfa Romeo launch, he said that basically if there was any improvements to the car, it was because of his awesome feedback, and if it was any slower, it was the engineer's fault. He basically...
That's it. That is how the world works, isn't it? It's always someone else's fault.
He's off the leash, though. He's totally off. No, he was being funny about it, Wayne. Don't be all...
I know that.
We're only 2 minutes into the podcast. Don't get all psycho on us now, you know. I mean, psychological. I mean, he's off.
He's a wild man now, isn't he? You can tell by that tash and that hair.
Yes, he's off the leash, and he's loving every minute of it. And good on him. He deserves it, I think.
Do you think? No, not many wins, no championship under his belt. You think he deserves it? Oh, I'm just a nasty man. I'm a nasty man. Do you know what? I liked him better in the Williams days. He was crushing it in the Williams before they lost Massa and it all went downhill.
You think?
He was out driving the car then.
Right. Yeah, that's when he was young and hungry, though, wasn't it?
Yeah, he's not that old. Not as old as me. Look, my grey hairs are.
How long was he at? How long was he at Mercedes? 6 years.
Oh, was it 6 years?
Yeah,
oh, I mean, 6 years of being a bridesmaid. Jesus.
Yeah, that's got to wear you down. You know, he couldn't. There's no matter what he did, he couldn't beat Lewis Hamilton.
Just not allowed.
Well, on the days when he could have, he wasn't allowed. But physically and mentally, that's got to wear you down. Just being
Number two. The wingman, always the wingman.
There you go.
Old Valtteri. So let's have a look at this Alfa Romeo just quickly, so we can just say that how much it looks like a Ferrari. Haven't Ferrari launched yet?
No, not yet.
Still in the pits, aren't they? Still in the pits from the last race. Oh, the old ones are always the best. Oh, where you gone? Hold up. Yeah, see.
You like that?
He's got another shot. Give me a better shot. Oh, that's the other side. Oh, brilliant.
So there's a couple of things. Can you see my mouse there? There's a couple of things on the side. Remember, this is for the people on the...
Okay, I'll describe.
The vents on the engine box are different. Instead of having all the vents along the kind of scoops there.
Yeah.
We've got half there and half on the engine box. The floor is a different shape. There's a lot of crenulations, would you call that? Or
crimping. A lot of crimping going on.
Yeah. There.
This was something from last year, wasn't it? Everyone noticed it last year on cars.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what it looks like. No car stereo, as always. No. A lot of
no air conditioning either.
No air conditioning.
Yeah, so they've trimmed a lot of it, bodywork off the back area to guide the airflow into the Coke bottle, which is the area around the back where the exhaust comes out. Yeah. Which they hope is going to improve the cooling on the engine, which apparently was the cause of a lot of the reliability issues last year, was the engine overheating. Okay. They've gone for the Red Bull sort of air intakes there. It's what we spoke about at the start of last season, that everybody started off very different, and then they've all kind of gone towards the one that did it best. You know, they've all kind of reverse engineered in their own way those designs. And they've got there's one of the nose. The noses are all well developed and pretty similar to last year. This is the back area. You see the crenulations on the back there, the kind of crinkle cut effect. Yeah. Again, to encourage the airflow being faster over there and take the heat away from the exhaust a lot quicker.
Yeah, they do a good job at making it look saucy. in the photos, don't they? But
yeah, this is a digital rendition. This isn't the physical car that they unveiled. It was the physical car was a bit different to this.
well, that's not even a real picture.
No, it's a digital picture of it.
Oh my God, we're
See,
doomed.
they've got the undercut here as well, which Red Bull had.
Yeah.
I think they're going to see a lot more teams with that. So yeah, there you go. Their main sponsor this season is Steak.
Just the food.
Well, it's an online gambling platform. Apparently.
Oh, of course.
To be honest. But one thing that did happen was Robert Kubica was one of the was a bit of a paid driver from one of the previous sponsors. So now they've pulled out. He's lost his backup reserve seat.
Oh, I see. I see. So he took the money with him.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay, so that's Alfa Romeo. Who's the other driver in Alfa Romeo? Forgotten.
Wang Yuzhou.
Oh yeah, the upside down man. Yeah.
The upside down man. Nice, I like it.
Yeah, he's still there. Still a bit I think he underperformed, didn't he?
He'll be pretty good. He had a good season last year for a first season for a rookie. Given the car that they had, they did all right. They had the most DNFs because of technical issues, because of reliability last year. So it was.
So what Bottas is saying is correct. It's the engineers. If the thing, quite literally, if the wheels fall off it, it's not his fault.
But looking at a more global picture of Alfa Romeo, they've had a lot of changes in the background. This is last year Alfa Romeo.
Who is it again? Sorry, Alfa Romeo.
Alfa Romeo. Well, the full title of the team is Alfa Romeo Sauber. And
so that's an old one, isn't it? So is it the old Sauber team?
Sauber is the skeleton of the team, right?
I saw it on the little top bit. I saw it on the little the air intake, but above the driver's head. That's the word. I saw Sauber written there. So basically, the roll bar. Is there a roll bar still there? I don't know.
There's a roll hoop, yeah, and that's been redesigned.
They call them roll bars, by the way. I just want to correct you on that. Okay.
It's called a roll hoop.
Called a roll bar. Don't. If Murray Walker says,
don't Google it now.
If Murray Walker calls it a roll bar, it's a roll bar.
It was a roll bar when Murray Walker was commentating. He's not commentated for a few years now, I think. I'm pretty sure in saying that.
He appears every week on this show.
Yeah, the one and only. But because of Guan Yuzhou's crash at Silverstone last year, where the roll hoop didn't take the weight of the car, it snapped off. They've redesigned it, and it's now more integrated into the body of the car, making it safer. Hopefully, that if that happens, if that upside down scenario happens again, it'll be a lot stronger. It'll support the weight of the car.
What are they called in normal cars? Anyway, I'm not going to get into an argument about that.
Yeah, roll bar in a rally car or whatever, but that's right across the width of the chassis, whereas that's only a hoop above the driver's head. That's why it's called a hoop.
Okay, whatever.
Right. So,
you're just calling everybody a liar. Okay. So let's move. That's Sauber done.
No, it's not done.
Jeez.
It's not done. There's a lot of things have happened to Sauber.
Go on.
All right, so Alfa Romeo.
Alfa Romeo. I've called it Sauber for a start.
Yeah, so this is last year with them having Alfa as their sponsor, the title sponsor. Right. In 2024, they will race as the Sauber team, and then in 2025 they will race as the Audi Sauber team, or they're going to be the Audi team after that.
I see. And then they'll probably phase out the word Sauber again, and it'll just be Audi.
They've not announced what they're going to be known as, but it will still be the Sauber team, all the same people, and that will carry through. But the other big thing is Fred Vasseur, who was the team principal, has now jumped over to Ferrari as the team principal, right?
Oh, Christ.
Andreas Seidel.
Hang on.
Andreas Seidel, who was the team principal for McLaren, is now CEO of Sauber. He's he's promoted somebody from within to be the CEO of Trackside, or they've got a funky name for it. It's not a team principal, but he is a team principal and all.
So, what happened to our friend from Ferrari then?
Matteo? He gone fishing.
That was very. Now, I haven't been keeping up on the news. As a Formula One fan, and Formula One fans out there, you'll be disgusted that I have not been really keeping up on news. But I didn't hear that at all in the news. No one told me. No one called me. Should he have gone? Do you think? Is that the right decision?
100%.
I suppose the buck stops somewhere, doesn't it?
Yeah, he was the engineer. He was engineering lead, and he was very good at that. And again, I think it was a situation where he got promoted above his technical expertise. You know, he was very.
It's our old friend, the Peter principle, isn't it? Is it?
That's it. But he was very good at doing the engines, but you know the tactics and the management of the people involved in that side of things, wasn't quite as good.
And Ferrari we haven't seen anything of Ferrari's new car.
They've announced the name.
Oh, what, Ferrari?
Well, it's
have they announced it officially? Have they got digital photos of it because they haven't announced it in the flesh? What digital photos of the name?
No,
what is it with these people?
Don't know.
Just show us your car.
Well, they've got to do it on different days. They released as Red Bull, right in the middle of Red Bull's big fancy release that they had in New York, where they announced Ford are returning to F1.
Yeah, I heard about that.
F1 powertrains, right?
Yep.
So in the middle of that big announcement, Ferrari
engines. Go on.
Ferrari released no, it's a powertrain.
Oh, for God's sake. Okay. It's a roll cage. It's a power box.
Yeah. Ferrari released the sound of their engine firing up at the same, right in the middle of the press conference for Red Bull.
What, on Twitter or what? What do you mean? They played it?
Yeah, they released it on social media. The noise of it firing up. Right in the middle of Red Bull. That was a deliberate ploy, but there we go.
Yeah, it's a little bit tit for tat. I mean, what's it going to sound like? yeah, still in the pits. Oh, it's not funny, Wayne. Shut up. Right. So nothing from Ferrari. Let's have a look at this Red Bull then. Yeah. Let's get it out of the way. I wonder what the sponsor's going to be.
You funny guy.
That's a good wine. I know we've got no sponsors for the F1 show, but can I recommend a wine called Don David? Don David. I've been really enjoying it recently, and my brother's name is David, so he's a Don.
Nice.
And there we go. Other wines are available. Other podcasts are available as well.
I'm drinking a lovely Castillo.
Oh, that's a nice one.
Castillo Diablo.
Castillo Diablo.
The Cab Sauv version.
Diablo. Go on, sorry.
Here is the.
Let's have a look at this Red Bull podcast, listeners. If you're listening, don't worry. It looks like last year's. Does it? Is this a real photo or is this a digital mock-up of what they think?
That's a digital mock-up of it.
Oh, gosh.
But we've got, this is the photos of the press conference. So we got Checo and Max with his helmet and yada yada.
Oh wow!
They've got Rocket on there now, which is interesting.
Where's Rocket? Where's it say?
It was it's just there above on the arm there. There you go.
Oh, that's not how you spell rocket.
Do you want to take that up with the marketing team?
No. Why can't they spell things correctly? Have they all got new helmets? What's going on there?
Well, they've all got helmets for the year. I'm trying to find a picture.
Is that Danny Rick? Oh, I like to see Danny Rick.
Danny Rick was on stage with them. There you go. There's the CEO of Ford, Christian Horner. Danny Rick's there as well.
Stood right next to Checo. Yeah.
Yeah. Where he's going to be all season, I reckon.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's the car there. But it's
Checo's another one who's been given another lease of life by it, isn't it? He's another one that's
100%. I think he's doing well.
You think so? A little bit of friction last year. I'm still stand by my conspiracy theory about Monaco.
Yeah.
I think I called that. I called that big styly.
Christian Horner's taking the blame for all that.
He's really?
Yeah, he said it was a team problem. It wasn't a problem between the drivers. There's no tension between the drivers.
What, a team problem that one of them crashed on purpose?
Well, Max was asked to do what he had to do. But yeah, there we go. So that was that.
How have they dodged that one? I don't know. I think that's very naughty.
Yeah,
crashing on purpose.
They've made a deal with somebody.
Yeah, there's been a backhander of some kind. Yeah. So that's Red Bull. Are we all happy about Red Bull?
Well, so the powertrain thing, I'm going to go back to that. I know you said it's just engines, but it's not. Ford's big push with this launch is their electric vehicles. So it's the batteries, the battery management system. It's all that side of things rather than just the engine. So it's the powertrain.
Oh, it's that big whole green agenda stuff. Yeah, oh, Christ. Yeah.
As of 2026, that's going to become more important because the power of the combustion unit is going to be taken down a bit more, and they're going to be more reliant on harvesting that energy and deploying electric energy.
Basically, it's a slow creep of becoming the e-sports, isn't it?
But no, it's never going to become that because you can't make the noise, you can't make the smell, you can't get that heart-thumping, soul-moving
noise when they come round. When they came round, when you saw them take off, and then you knew they were going up in Eau Rouge, and you could hear them coming.
You knew them. You could sense them coming. You're never going to get that electric car, and that's why that's one of the things that will always stay with me from that weekend in Belgium. That and the amount of chips and meal we had.
The amount of chips and mayonnaise we ate. Yeah.
What? Every meal. What?
Yeah, I love chips and mayonnaise, but that got to a
Not had it since. Not had it since.
Really?
Oh, no.
So we're happy with Red Bull and their graphically rendered car, and we've got Danny Rick there smiling away.
Yeah. He's going to be doing simulator work. He's going to be doing public appearances. Although all the public appearances so far, he's not turned up at any of them, or he's not been at any of them. It's been other Red Bull pool drivers. But we'll see what he's match fit. He's ready just to
take a nice year out. Take a year off. That's what I say. Take a year off. Have a little bit of practice, just because there was a lot of pressure on that guy. I can understand that. A lot of pressure. Any other car reveals going on? Is that the only two?
Yeah. No. Williams have revealed their car as well.
Really? That will look nice.
Williams have had a lot of.
Please tell me the livery looks different. Just for
what?
Right. Anyway, show me. Let's have a look.
Well, they've got a pretty major title sponsor as well. That you'll be happy to see them back in F1, but maybe not.
I will be. Duracell. Oh yeah, I like that. Where's the bunny? Where's the bunny?
I like the batteries at the top. The battery's the roll hoop, if you notice.
Keep going.
So here we go. This is
number 2.
That's Piastri's car, I think. Look at that, eh?
That is saucy.
Golf.
That's saucy. Is this a real picture or is this a?
Yep. This is a reveal one.
Who's that fella?
He's a young lad.
Is this Sergeant Williams?
Franco Colapinto.
He's in the academy then, yeah?
Reserve driver, yeah. He's one of the reserve drivers. Jamie Chadwick is the other academy driver.
Logan Sargent.
He's the 3-time Formula W series champion. Logan Sargent's our token American friend. Alex Albon's gone on blonde.
Alex. Where's the cats?
Yeah, where are they? And then
looking match fit though, isn't he? Looking a lot better.
Yeah. So there's the car.
That's not. Is that their car? Is that Stevens? Who's Steven?
That's he did him.
It's such a bad joke, and you laugh. I gotta laugh. Doritos. Is that what's Doritos on the side of that? Can we zoom in there?
Yeah, that's Doritos Capital. That's the owner of the company. So, did you hear about their new team principal? So we'll talk about the car. One thing you can see from this is the height of the ride height is higher on all the cars. Now the FIA have made a stipulation, and they put a sensor on the car. Yeah, yes, this is to help Mercedes. Sorry, to help teams stop.
Meow. Oh, meow from Alex. Keep going. Yep.
So there's a couple more. This is the real car. There's a couple of differences to last year's car. The vents are in a different place. The nose is a bit sleeker, a bit rounder.
Yeah, it looks a bit saucy. Oh, yeah, it does look a bit saucier.
Yeah. There's still a lot of space.
Oh, who's that?
Zach O'Sullivan. This is
who are these little pups?
Who's Jamie Chadwick?
Jamie Chadwick. Is she a reserve driver?
Yeah, she's in the academy. She's racing in IndyCar Light. So the Formula 2 version of IndyCar.
Cool. Oh no, go back. That's Ayrton Senna.
That isn't it?
That's Nelson Piquet. That's Nelson Piquet and Ayrton Senna. That is 1987. It is 87, isn't it? Yeah, 87. No, because you missed it. You missed it. Go back to that. You knew what you were doing there, you little flirt. Put it back. I want the next photo. The next photo, I think, might have been Keke Rosberg.
It wasn't. It was. It's all the Williams team.
The next photo you did along was Keke Rosberg.
Oh, was it? Okay.
Well, now I feel like I've got to have confirmation of that.
Let me see again, right? But
Jesus.
while we're doing this,
why would you do that?
There's rumours that Williams is back up for sale.
Next photo. Go on. Keke Rosberg for £10. Here we go.
No, right.
Next photo. Keke Rosberg. Yes.
That's the same picture.
That one. Keke Rosberg.
Keke Rosberg. Same picture as that one.
I know. I was just saying that's Keke Rosberg. That's what I wanted to say.
Okay. Thanks, then.
Back in the good old days. No Duracell on that. No. Batteries. What would I think of next, eh? Hey?
Josh Capito got summarily resigned. Got or was or however you want to say it.
Those politically correct terms. He has been liquidated or something like that when they've.
No longer the team principal. They have where is it? Yeah.
Who's the new team principal? Someone I know?
Yeah.
Oh, is it back to Claire Williams?
Valtteri, this is James.
Go on. What?
James Vowles from Mercedes.
Ooh.
Toto in waiting, basically.
That car's never getting off the back of the grid, though, is it? Let's be honest.
Well, there's been apparently...
Unless it's going to go full on brawn and just all of a sudden find this extra 2 seconds with one bending of the only way cars do it now, and it's been the same through history, is when they exploit the rule book. They exploit the rule book every time to get those giant leaps forward.
Unless Williams have a genius lawyer that's found a little loophole, then I can't see, somebody like Mercedes or one of the big teams with fleets of lawyers, Ferrari, those guys, they're probably doing it. But
double diffusers, all of that business was about interpreting it in a different way.
Yeah.
Back in the 80s, I had this ride height thing, right? Where if they went into parc fermé, there had to be a certain ride height, so they could, because they were trying to get rid of ground effects, right? They were trying to minimise ground effects, but all they did was they pumped the car up and down before they had like a gas thing that would just lift the ride height up before they went into parc fermé, controlled by the driver. So they'd always pass and then release the gas, and the car just went back to the floor again.
Yeah.
Didn't say that was nowhere in the rules said that they couldn't do it. So, the fan car was another one. The fan car, there was nothing in the rules that was against that.
No.
But they knew straight away. They covered it in everything. And one way, Nicky Lauda drove round.
Yeah, one of the biggest changes this season in the rules has been the outlawing of Mercedes and Aston Martin's wingtips on the end of the nose and on the end of the spoiler at the back. They were doing funky shapes on the end, and they've been outlawed. So they found the loophole, and there was questions about it towards the end of last season. And they did 1 or 2 races with them, but they've been outlawed, or they've tightened up the rules in that area. Shall we say.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. It's when they get half a second or a second a lap from something, then everybody just starts going, whoa, tighten up the rules. It's like, well, the rules are the same. You didn't see it, we did. I'm a big fan of really bending those rules to the limit.
I think it's going to be interesting with the Williams both with. I know you're going to complain about this, but having 2 drivers that are there purely on talent, and having a experienced person like James Vowles as their team principal. I mean, Jos Capito, he wasn't known within Formula One. He was a rally guy, I think, but he wasn't known within Formula One. James Vowles knows how Formula One operates. He's worked for Mercedes. He's had that winning culture. There you go. For a long time, and it'll be interesting to see how they go on. Logan Sargent's a rookie, but he's got a lot of race time under his belt. Not necessarily Formula One, but IndyCar and all that, Formula 2. He's done all right, so it'll be interesting to see how they get on.
Oh, don't get me wrong, I'm shitting on them, but
I don't know if they'll be back of the grid though. I think the grid's going to shorten up. I don't think there's going to be such a big spread.
You don't think?
It's going to be, I think there's going to be a bit of a shortening up of it.
Yeah, I wouldn't. Yeah. Now, what about the Haas? Let's have a quick look at the Haas.
So Haas have they've released a car as well. They've done a livery.
Purely funded by the T-shirts that man sold. Honest, purely that guy must be. I mean, he could afford anything now.
Yeah. So they have a new sponsor. In MoneyGram. MoneyGram, they said they transfer money. It's a big American company. So if you live in one state and want to send money to somebody in a different state, you use MoneyGram.
This is sexy.
Yeah.
I think this looks sexy.
MoneyGram's the new title sponsor. They've gone pretty much black and white.
With red.
Yeah. Black, white, and red, yeah.
Yeah. I like that.
And the thing about MoneyGram, right? Alkali, and who were the other big sponsors they had? Didn't
they have a Russian sponsor at one point when they had old?
Yeah, Alkali. Alkali, or wherever you want to say it.
I haven't got my soundboard ready for
Daddy's money, right?
The piano music.
MoneyGram is a proper adult company. It's a huge company in the States. It's got a lot of depth in it there. It's not a company nobody's heard of. Rich Energy and Alkali, who have been the 2 main title sponsors recently, they were companies nobody'd heard of. Rich Energy didn't
and the funny thing is as well, what's that Canadian flag at the front there? Is that a Canadian flag?
That?
Yeah, what is that?
Handtech Markets. So I don't know if it's a Canadian flag, but it's certainly a red and white flag. But there's not much detail you can see on there, but it does.
What's Palm Angels? Go back. What's Palm Angels?
Google it. There.
I'm just about. I literally just reached up to Google it. Well, should we go? Should we go speak to Murray and and then we'll keep this on. We'll keep this on, and then we can't, but we'll speak to. We'll have a first Murray of the season, and then we'll come back and we'll tell you what Palm Angels are.
And we've got to talk about the drivers for Haas as well. Let's go, Murray.
Hey, you up there?
Unless I'm very much mistaken.
Hey, thank you, Murray. We've looked at Palm Angels, and what we want to tell you, listeners, is they're a horrendously expensive clothes company. I mean, geez.
Quite nice clothes.
They're nice clothes, but if you want to spend $220 on a baseball cap that looks like it's half worn anyway, go right ahead.
Didn't look like it had any paint on it, Wayne, which you'd be happy about. Or
if it hasn't got the flick of paint on the baseball cap, it's not interesting to me.
Wow.
Yeah, Palm Angels.
Let's talk about the drivers. We've got Nico. We've got the Hulk back on the grid.
$785 for a pair of jeans. Sorry, go. Sorry, we got
Nico Hulkenberg back on.
the Hulk is back. Oh, he better perform for me. He has got to perform.
Yeah,
That man has. This is it. It's the last chance saloon, Nico. If you're not on the podium
with K-Mag, right?
Yeah,
K-Mag,
and they're not friends. They're not
Hulk
mates.
just stuck his balls.
Those two are not going to be friends, are they? Let's be honest.
But they're a bit older. They're a bit, they've got a bit more, a bit more time under the belt. They're less feisty. They can let bygones be bygones, or can they? Are they going to be fighting with each other? Are they going to be slamming doors?
K-Mag is the daddy of that. K-Mag's the daddy of that team now, and and he's got to reassert that as well. Otherwise, Nico's just yeah. I still think it was a shame that they didn't grab old Danny Rick. That'd have been a good little pairing. I think Danny Rick would have gone through a Bottas kind of stage where he's just more relaxed and. I don't know what that was, but I had a little dance there, podcast listeners. But so we've looked at the Haas car. Is there any other cars available for us to peruse?
No, that was the four. It was Red Bull, Haas, Williams, and Alfa Romeo.
So no McLaren yet? No McLaren yet?
No. Those release dates are available on quality websites and probably be out of date by the time that you.
We can't tell you that because we ain't got no quality. Well, that's a shame because we were going to go through all the teams. Is there any trouble in paradise with Piastri or anything?
So I mean, they're ramping up their social media. He does look suspiciously like Lando's younger brother. And I did see a meme the other day where he was sitting looking a bit forlorn, and it was like, when you're the only Australian on the grid, but you're not the most Australian person on the grid, with respect to Valtteri Bottas being more Australian than he is.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's still already getting some shade. So you better come out fighting, and you better come out driving well.
Yeah.
And we've got Ocon and Gasly's another potential. I mean, Netflix are going to be rubbing their hands waiting for stuff to kick off this coming season.
Can't wait for that kick off.
Gasly and Ocon have famously hated each other in the past.
Wow.
So
Ocon's got a bit of an attitude, though, isn't he? I'm not making a value judgment. I think some of it's good. But Ocon came good at the end of the season, I felt he did he did some good results. Trying to think back now.
Well, compared to Fernando Alonso, I mean, that's a pretty tough teammate to go up against.
And who's Fernando paired up with again this year?
Oh, this season? Oh, Daddy's little boy over at Aston Martin. Old Lance Stroll.
Baby Lance.
Yeah. Little Lancey Bubs.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that goes. Not a lot of news coming out of them. Lots of pictures of Fernando walking around and everyone going, "Moo, it's Fernando."
The guy's on a roll. I mean, let's see what other news, because we podcast listeners, we expected a few more teams to be announced.
Right. So we held out. Bits of news that came out today is about Team F1. Mohammed Ben Sulayem.
Well, I heard a little bit about this, but I kind of heard a bit about this. He said something or done something that's not upset people. I don't know.
About 11 years ago, in fact, no, 20 years ago, 2001, he put a tweet out that's been dug up, or not a tweet. He made a comment on an interview somewhere, and it's been dug up, saying about women in sport and whatnot, and it was unacceptable language for today. All right, but it was 20 odd years ago or whatever. They came out and said it was taken out of context, yada yada yada. But now,
what was the tweet? I'm going to find it. Go on, keep talking.
It just so happens that he
what's his
when
name?
he-
Mohammed Ben
Sulayem.
Sulayem. Okay, here we go.
Yeah.
Mohammed Ben.
Right, so you gonna let me finish, or you gonna talk over the top?
No, you keep talking.
So he, when he was elected Formula One or FIA president, he said that he was going to delegate and become an executive board member, or non-executive board member, and that he was going to be a non-executive president, and that he was going to put people with technical ability into each of the roles to run the departments properly and professionally.
Yeah.
Now he has been, over the last year that he's been in the job, very vocal about Formula One and the way it's been run, and the value of it. He's been causing trouble with his previous comments, the fact that the FIA have stepped in to control porpoising. He stamped on the proposal to have more sprint races, all this kind of stuff. He's been quite divisive, shall we say. But now, as it comes to a head with his latest misogynistic remarks, as they're referred to, he said,
I'm looking for the. Let me look for the tweet. Though I'm looking for the actual tweet, because
I've got it here. Do you want me to read it out?
Can you put it on the screen? I've got to see the tweet myself. It's not a tweet. It's not a tweet. What do you mean?
No.
What is it?
It wasn't.
Well, no, because 20 years ago, Twitter didn't exist.
No. I'm just trying to find it for you. It's a comment.
But it was an internet comment mentioned on the internet. Okay.
Hang on. Formula One's owners accused head of FIA of unacceptable remarks about championship values, right? So there was a talk about somebody trying to value a Saudi Arabian consortium wanting to buy F1 the rights, and Ben Sulayem said that they were overvalued, that the price was overvalued.
Right.
And where's the comments?
That sexist bastard.
Okay. He is Mohammed Ben Sulayem is quoted on an archived version of his own website as saying he does not like women who think they are smarter than men.
Oh wow. Okay, so hang on. See, the thing with these kind of things is, it's about. Where are you, mate?
I'm still here. I've not moved.
I've lost you on the screen. That's all. Hold on.
It's all right. You can still talk to me. I can hear you. No.
Technical issues. The thing with that is, right, so read that out again. He said this word for word. Let's hear what you said.
Mohammed Ben Sulayem is quoted on an archived version of his old website saying he does, in quotation marks, not like women who think they are smarter than men. Close quotation marks, full stop.
I'd like to know what the wider context of that conversation was.
Exactly, yeah.
A lot of this is
the fact it's on an archived website.
Well, no, all websites are archived, aren't they? All websites, any website, even if it's taken down, you can find it because it's archived. So
but they've gone and looked for this.
This is what people do, mate. This is what people do. I don't like you. You've obviously said something that's going to be problematic to the religion, which is, wokeism and all that nonsense or whatever. But it's a religion. It's like if you say the wrong thing, you are a sinner and you're deemed you're out of the church, we'll just exclude you for it's this kind of right. So he's quoted saying doesn't like women who think they're smarter. The context of it, if he doesn't like any woman that thinks that they're smarter than any man, well then that's wrong. But if he's talking about specific women, the context is all gone from it. It's impossible to claim misogyny without context. But don't get me wrong, I think he must be a bit of a prick anyway. It
came in the wake of him claiming that he described that the £16.2 billion price tag for F1 was an inflated price tag that Liberty Media had put on the rights for F1. Okay.
Well, share prices are. I mean,
what he said was that any potential buyer is advised to apply common sense, consider the greater good of the sport, and come with a clear, sustainable plan, not just a lot of money. You know, so
he's had a little dig at F1, so someone else has gone and found.
No, he said a dig at Liberty Media.
Yes,
and
I don't know the inside. Right? You're the man in the pits.
And they're the people that have dug around, found the comment, and gone, boom.
We'll get rid of him now. We'll shame him and kick him from the church. And it's like there's no forgiveness. You can't just go, yeah, that was 20 years ago. Sorry. No. You know what I mean? It's almost like a version of original sin when you think about it. It's like you did this 30 years ago. It's your original sin. That's it. But
I think what will happen, I think it'll be interesting to watch what so Nicolas Tombazis, you've probably heard his name in the coverage. He was the head of he was the head of FIA's technical department.
Yeah.
He's now he's now going to be the director of single-seater racing, which basically means he's going to be the FIA head for Formula One. So it'll be interesting to see if he's as high profile as Ben Sulayem was. If it's a direct one-for-one role, then he should be. You know, he should be in the same place.
It's his job.
Same event. You know, as much as Ben Sulayem was, but we'll see what happens.
Well, we saw this with Bernie Ecclestone a little bit. Bernie Ecclestone, like, he's old, so he's going to start just being he's not going to agree with everything. And as soon as what was he accused of? He had an interview and he went against the regime and the thoughts. And all of a sudden now, it's like we're investigating his taxes. It's like, well, come on. The guy's been around for ages. Now he's not following your script. Let's all investigate his taxes. And you just know it's like a witch hunt to a certain extent, you know? If
he upsets the establishment, then he's going to get the establishment.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, we've let you get away with having all this now, but you said the wrong thing.
The bag about it. You cross this line, we're going to let this out the bag.
Yeah, if you go against our narrative, wrong think, then we're going to start investigating. Now, all of a sudden, and you see this a lot in the media, it's like, well, you know, don't even get me started. Well, you have got me. I've got me started.
On to a different topic. I found the car launches. Next one is Alpha Tauri on the 11th of February, then Aston Martin the 13th of February, on the same day as McLaren. Silverstone's going to be busy. That whole area is going to be full of press up there. How are you going to pick who you're going to see? Valentine's Day, next Tuesday, is going to be Ferrari.
Thanks for reminding me of that.
Yeah, no worries. Then we've got February 15th is Mercedes. And Alpine.
Who's last? Alpine. Bit of an anticlimax. When's Ferrari? Sorry, you didn't say where Ferrari was.
I did. It's on the 14th on Valentine's Day. You were too busy wondering about if you were going to send out advice on Grindr or Tinder.
You were such a shit.
Can you send a mass email out to all your friends on Tinder or Grindr? Is that how? Can you do that? Is that how it works?
Will you just stop?
Oh, sorry. Hey, you know
right.
what? Happily married man, I want to know these things. It's, how does it work? And then we've got testing on the 23rd to 25th of February, but there is obviously the session at Barcelona before that.
There is. And should we do a little podcast before that? Well, that's next week. We're back. What are we talking about? We're back.
What are we going to talk about next week?
Oh, we can find something. Let's have another glass of wine. What else? What other news? I've just clicked on F1 news. There's a big there's a podcast with Lewis Hamilton, and I keep getting it appear in my little recommendations from YouTube. And it's, should I listen to this? He's saying about the tagline of it is, fame is not what you think it is, or something like that. I do think I should listen to it because it got a little bit of attention about a week and a half ago.
Yeah.
But
And
I haven't.
drip feeding, that's what the cycle, the news cycle's in at the moment, is they're drip feeding all these closed season interviews and in the build up, and they're just drip feeding it to build up the interest. We've got Netflix Drive to Survive is out in a couple of weeks as well. I think 24th of February they're starting that.
Yeah.
So that'll be interesting. But that, they were saying about Hamilton and how he's hungry, and he remembered, this season it feels
he's
like
not got enough food or something.
Well, it feels like getting his cart for the first time. He's hungry for victory again. He wants to get back to those days.
Yeah.
So
I've just typed in F1 news, and yeah, you're right. It's a news cycle thing. That Mohammed Ben Sulayem to step back from direct. Oh, he's stepping back from direct F1 involvement.
That's what we just spoke about, mate.
I know we just spoke about. I'm just reading the BBC headline, right? Just reading the headline.
That's the exact article I just read to you.
I know. What I'm just suggesting to you is just the news cycle. Perez pushed Red Bull in a certain direction on 2023 F1 car. Oh, I don't really.
So, do you think Nick De Vries is going to do well at AlphaTauri?
I don't know. You threw that one. AlphaTauri's just not done well anyway, so it's.
They've got a new team principal. Is it AlphaTauri? Franz Tost there now?
Oh, he's a name I actually know, so that might sound something interesting. And Gasly's still there. No, Gasly's moved, isn't it?
Yeah.
Who's there?
Gasly's gone. Yuki Tsunoda. They've got the shortest F1 team ever.
Yuki Tsunoda. The naughty boy thing, isn't it? It's the naughty boy thing.
Yeah.
F1 driver contracts. Lewis Hamilton, Charles Leclerc. No, that's not right. Fernando Alonso thinks super talented Lance Stroll is a potential world champion.
Oh, piss off. Daddy, you're saying that to get your nice new car, Fernando.
Yeah. You hear that a lot when they win one race by accident in the rain when everybody else has crashed out and they go, this guy's a future world champion. No, everybody else has crashed. I used to hear that all the time back in the day. Oh, what's wrong with me?
You're jaded, my friend.
I'm not jaded. I found this recently. I was talking to a friend of mine. Every conversation I have rolls into this weird kind of nostalgia of wasn't it better back in the 90s? Anyway, continue. Right, let's have a look at some more news.
Everything's better in the 90s.
Everything was better in the 90s. That's why I keep saying it, because it was better. Christian Horner risks.
There's a country song called "Better in the 90s." Breaking up was better in the 90s.
Breaking up? Well, yeah, you could just walk away, couldn't you? They're going to blow your phone.
You find you, yeah.
You don't know where I live, love. Bye. The worst one was, don't even. Right, okay. Christian Horner risks angering Sergio Perez with Max Verstappen title prediction. Max Verstappen dominated. This is one of those news stories that tells you.
It's clickbait, mate.
Is it? Well, wait a minute. This is a reputable. This is the Express, but they'll tell you what the news item is, and then they'll give you a whole history of last year for 7 paragraphs of what happened last year, right? And it will just say something like Horner said Max Verstappen once. Christian Horner does not back Sergio Perez to beat Verstappen. Did he say that? But Checo has the capability to be right there. We need both drivers performing. Right, he's a reigning world champion and Checo has to strive for that. Otherwise, why is he competing? But I think the reality, well, you could just bin it into the wall anytime he wants. But I think the reality is that in all probability, Max over the season is likely to be better. Oh, he said it. He did say it. Likely to be better. The better candidate for the world championship. In other words, he's literally telling Sergio, you're still a number 2. But Checo has the capabilities right there. What did Checo say? Perez has pushed for equal treatment in Red Bull. What are you doing? What are you watching? There. Oh, I've got a video playing by accident. Are you still there, Mr. Man in the Pits?
Yeah, I'm still here. Yeah, I'm still here.
Perez duly abided by vengeance, frustration, energies when you speak up. Perez was also told not to fight Verstappen at Azerbaijan. Yeah, this is the rehashing bit. Perez has returned for fight. He's not said anything. Yeah, just. Oh my God.
You didn't know what to say, so you didn't leave a message.
What's that?
Hang on.
I'm done. It's over for me because the world's most stunning woman. I can't click on that. It's an F1 show podcast. I've clicked on it. Anyway. What are you playing there? Look, guys, I'm really sorry, podcast listeners. It's a slow week for F1 because we haven't had a race. Okay? What do you expect? This is a free service. Don't moan at us for not producing content, all right?
We do have to say hello, welcome, and thank you to our many listeners that have continued downloading the podcast, listening to it while we've been off the air.
Yes, well, absolutely. But we've noticed that the last podcast we did is the highest downloaded podcast. And there are. Did you not know that?
I knew it was up there, but I didn't realize it was the highest.
160 downloads. Okay.
Wow.
And our second highest was our old friend Ernie. And no, I haven't. I'm going to get in contact with him. And when you think about it, that podcast has not been up as long as podcast number 1, number 2, number 3, or whatever. So why are people downloading that last podcast? They miss us.
Let us know why you like it. Let us know why you downloaded it.
Click.
If you're still listening to this.
Clickety click click. I think we're all out, aren't we? This is it, isn't it? Really, we've pretty much exhausted the news so far.
Yeah, not much happening, mate.
Not much happening. When are we going to get racing again? That's what we want. Then we can start.
23rd of February. That's when we're going to start talking. 23rd of February, first day in Bahrain. 24th of February, Netflix drops. Drive to Survive. So we got to maybe do something about that.
Yeah, we definitely.
It's the second day of testing. Then the week after that, 1st of March, is the start of the calendar.
Absolutely, and then we'll be
3rd of March weekend in Bahrain.
That's the exciting time, guys. That's the timetable of events, and then we can start our predictions again. Who was world champion last year? Me. I think it was
World champion. Max Verstappen was world champion.
World champion amongst our predictions. Who won the predictions?
You were run closer. You were run closer than Max Verstappen was.
You nearly have it. I really thought that last. I didn't. We didn't know the results at the end. We didn't. I thought I'd lost that, but obviously I didn't.
It's fun. If you guys want to take part in it, then
we need some more people. Come on, let's get some predictions down in the comments.
Names and your predictions. We can add you in there. We can do. Hopefully, Wayne might have improved the graphics and the methodology of doing the predictions.
How dare you? That methodology never fails. I've never lost one.
No, have you not?
We will do. I would improve. I'm not going to improve the graphics. It is what it is. It works.
Yeah.
I think that's it, isn't it? Have we done an hour? We must have done an hour. We've done the hour, guys. Come on, what more do you want for free?
Long enough.
Oh, wow.
Then we can chat off.
Yeah. Okay, people. This has been the F1 Show podcast. I've been the man. I haven't been the man. Don't you start that. Don't start that.
I can't even remember who you are.
I've been the host with the most. And this has been the man in the pits with the tits, Brendan. Yay! See you later. See you next week.